All right, hey, what's going on this weekend? What's the story? We're here with two of the members of Catherine Wheel. So why don't you guys tell us what your name is and what you play?
I'm Rob, and I sing and play the guitar.
I'm Brian, guitarist.
All right, guys. So we're here tonight to talk about your new CD, Adam and Eve, and to I guess promote you guys playing here in the Bay Area at the very beginning of October. Because nobody's going to see this and come to this show tonight. Oh. Okay, now Adam and Eve, this is your fifth full-length album, your fourth actual studio album behind Ferment, Chrome, Happy Days, and the B-side album Cats and Dogs. So what can my viewers expect from the new Catherine Wheel album? I mean, is it the new style?
You said your listener then.
My listeners, viewers. Okay.
What can your viewer expect?
Well, what can my viewers expect, from the new Catherine Wheel album? I mean, can we expect a new sound from you guys? Back to the Ferment style? Where are we going to go with this album?
Well, this album was heavily inspired by Cats and Dogs, which was the B-side compilation that we did, and we kind of put that record together while we were kind of writing the songs for what turned out to be Adam and Eve, and I think that had a big bearing on this record because we were kind of searching through the 40 or 50, I think it was 45, 50, 46 songs that didn't make it onto albums, and we had this big choice of songs to put on this compilation record, and we kind of realized that there was a whole other side to the group which really hadn't been documented, if you like, on an album, and that so Cats and Dogs was very much constructed to reflect that other side of the group, which is maybe a quieter side of the band, maybe a more broken down side to the group, and that record, Cats and Dogs, turned out very well, and those songs seemed to have a real relationship with each other, and from that we kind of started to think more that this record, the new studio record, could maybe reflect that kind of idea too. The idea that it's less of a disparate collection of songs, more of a bunch of tunes which work together. It's not a concept record, but a record which leads you through to the end due to the songs having some relationship to each other. So that was the start of the idea for this record. So. And in terms of the sound of the record, it was to engender that idea of that people were going to stay with the record. We decided to turn the guitars down a little bit on occasions, and try and suck people into the record through, for us, different instrumentation. So there's some different instruments flying around, and hopefully a warmer, more inviting sound to this record.
So a more homey feel, like that you're actually like in some place where the band's actually playing for you.
Yeah, I mean the idea was definitely to get people on our side and early on and to engender, try and encourage people to be on our side and get some kind of sense of make it a kind of personable record, in the sense that people would feel hopefully not alienated by it. I think we made a bit of a mistake with Happy Days. That a lot of people, constructing the record as we did it's supposedly our heavy metal record.
I really like Happy Days. I mean, I love the arrangement of the songs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's one thing that we don't like. I think that we got wrong, and I kind of regret. I think this, on that record, but I think that it put up a very kind of heavy frontage. Happy Days did, and you either dug it or you didn't. There was no sense of roping people in and then twisting around and trying different things, which is what we tried to do on Adam and Eve.
And we're not dissing that record. I hate it when bands dislike everything they've done except their new record. It's just something that we, it's a regret, something we didn't get right on that record, really.
Okay, yeah, because I love, I'd say, what is there, 12, 13 songs on that album? I love 15.
That's another mistake, it's too many songs.
Okay, well, I mean, Eat My Dust, awesome song. God Inside My Head, awesome song. Judy Stern at the Sun is probably my least favorite song on that one. I mean, even though it was the biggest radio hit off that. But I mean, the whole album to me is just awesome. Anyway, I just want to throw that in. Okay, so
we think reiterate what Brian said, but you know, it's certainly one of our favourites too. But I think people talk about it in certain terms as being our heaviest record or our most in-your-face record, and it's almost, I think does the record a bit of a disservice really, because if you can get through the first 4 or 5 songs, there's a whole lot of other stuff happening later on, which is not that at all, and that we basically didn't want to make the same mistake on this record.
Okay, so tonight's set, this is just you guys playing tonight here at the Great American Music Hall, and it's like, this is basically like your US CD release party, correct or no? I mean, is that the way you guys are looking at it?
Well, I think that's how the record company think that.
Okay.
I mean, we're it's a little bit strange. It's got the feel of a gig, but it isn't a gig because there's no opening act. There's no. It's just that it's an evening with us, and it's an evening to play people the new record basically, and it's just, we had this idea to do this a couple of months ago, and I think it's quite a dangerous thing for any band to try and do really, and I don't think I'm not sure that it's such a great idea that we should be doing this, to expect people to sit through, you know, what is largely 60 minutes of totally unknown material and expect them to sit there and appreciate it. It's a lot to take in, so so it is the new record, but we've jumbled it up a little bit with some old songs, but we're playing every song off the new record tonight.
Okay, and so can we expect songs tonight like I Want to Touch You, or Black Metallic, Heal? I mean, what?
Maybe. Maybe it's like a bit of a voyage of discovery. Because I really don't know. Because as soon as people, no matter what people have been told when they walk into a concert hall. Whether they've been told, yeah, I know that we're going to hear lots of new songs. I'm quite prepared for that. I think as soon as you walk in through the door, it becomes a rock gig. It becomes everything. You know, there's expectation there. There's songs that people might be wanting to hear, and I think no matter how much you tell people that, you know, this is what it's going to be, as soon as they walk in, it's good. I think. So we're basically going to play it by ear. If people start fidgeting, we'll do our cover of More Than a Feeling.
We've got to be brave. I think sometimes we're too keen to please people. You know, if we feel like playing the record, we'll play it.
All right.
Damn the consequences.
Okay, the song that I talked about a little earlier, Judy Stern at the Sun. Mm-hmm. How did that work out with Tanya Donnelly getting on on that song? Because I kind of checked up, and I don't believe I saw anything where you guys had actually played with them before that. If I'm wrong, then tell me. But how did you guys approach her and say, "Hey, I want to do this song with you"?
We actually did one gig with Belly in 1993 in London. It was a big Finsbury Park open air concert that we did with them. That was the first time I met Tanya.
It was Gil as well.
And there was a connection with Gil Norton, who produced their record and produced our record. And when we were doing it, Tanya's name was the obvious choice. We wanted a girl to sing on it.
So you wrote the song knowing that you were going to need an extra vocalist?
I think
no, we didn't, did we?
No.
The song was written as us, and then we thought that a girl's voice would be groovy on it, and then the idea kind of snowballed from there.
I think we thought we were playing on Kim Deal, weren't we? I think.
Yeah, it was
from Sonic Youth.
No, Breeders.
Oh, that's sorry. Yeah.
Where's your knowledge?
Oh, darn it!
Modern alternative rock. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, we didn't ask. It was another Gil connection. Gil suggested Kim, and then we started talking about. And Kim would have been great too, I'm sure.
Her name's Kim Gordon. So, okay. Anyway. Okay, I'm embarrassed now. Okay. So on the last US tour, the last time I saw you guys, it was here in San Francisco, and then in Palo Alto when you were playing with Belly, and one of the guys had to take off, and so. Two of the guys from Belly helped you guys out on a few songs. One of the guys from Belly helped you guys out on some songs. Was it different trying to play with him, and how did you get around that, and how did that tour actually come along? Was it just from that song? Did I ask too many questions all at once? I'm sorry.
No, I think I can assimilate that. The tour seemed an obvious thing to do, obviously, because Tanya was on this song of ours, and it gave a good opportunity for us to perform that, and they were into doing it, and they were flogging a record at the time, so that seemed like a good idea. In terms of
it was, from my point of view, when we started playing with Chris.
Chris Gorman.
Yeah, of course.
You were going to say Tom, weren't you?
Yeah.
Chris and Tom Gorman are were the brothers in
Tom
Belly.
always looked like he should have been called Chris, and Chris was
Yes.
to me, but there you go. I didn't think it'd be any different, but it makes you realise how personalised a drummer is. His feel is, it wasn't a bad feel, but it was just completely different from what I was used to. It was quite an eye-opener for me. Yeah.
Well, I noticed from seeing the Fillmore show that was like 2 nights before the Palo Alto show, it didn't seem to click on the Fillmore show, but then at the Palo Alto show, it clicked. I mean, did you just decide that we were going to use him, or that you were going to use him like right before the Fillmore show here in the Bay Area, or?
Yes, it wasn't because we didn't expect that Neil was going to have to go, obviously, and it just. I think Chris just played for 2 or 3 songs, and we did the rest acoustic.
Acoustic, yeah.
He was, it was a big thing for him to have to do. It was cold like that.
Yeah.
He had all these notes written on his hand, on everything that he must do and mustn't do.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Are we going to have some acoustic songs tonight?
There's acoustic elements to the show. Yes.
Like Black Metallic acoustic, hint.
No, I hadn't thought about it. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, now this song is actually this question is actually just for you. Now, you started out being a drummer. This is like going way back.
Yeah.
You started out being a drummer. Like, what made you decide to put down the sticks and say, I'm going to learn how to play guitar and sing?
He's a rubbish drummer, that's why.
that had a lot to do with it, yeah. I actually picked the guitar up before I picked the drums up, before I picked the drum kit up. I played guitar at 14 or 15 and then kind of got demoted to drummer for 5 or 6 years. The reason I gave up drumming is because I had no control over what I was doing, both being a drummer and being being in the band we were doing. I mean, drummers just don't get taken seriously, which is except Neil, our drummer, who take him very seriously. You can't. You feel like you have no. I certainly felt like I had no bearing on what was being done, and you have no. You've got your future lies in the hand of some buffoon who's like singing in your group, and I couldn't be dealing with that. I had to do it ourselves. So we split the group up that we were in, and we kind of did it ourselves.
Okay.
Seemed like a far better idea.
Okay, now you guys put out your very first thing, from my understanding, in January '91 on the Wild Club Records.
Yeah.
Then that was called "She's My Friend." Mm-hmm. Now, is this something that you guys thought about pressing again, or is all that material actually on Ferment? Because I've never even seen it. I've only heard about it.
The single, the first thing we pressed wasn't what is on Ferment, but it's a completely different version. It's not, it's a re-recorded version. The one that was done in my bedroom was the first thing was just an tinny little 8-track thing. It's not, hasn't got the gradness of the Ferment version.
Okay, and how did you guys get hooked up with Wild Club and then subsequently with Mercury or Polygram?
Me and Brian had been writing songs through 1990 for 7 or 8 months, and we'd accumulated, as you can imagine, a lot of songs, and we'd picked 5 or 6 which we thought had finally started to come together as something how we imagined the band. We didn't have a band, it was just me and him at the time, and I gave this tape to a guy in Norwich, which is the town where Wild Club is based. The Wild Club was a live club as well as a record company, and I didn't know it was a record company, and I just thought Wild Club was like a club where bands played. Because we wanted to get a gig, we thought that we should see what these songs sounded like live, and we were going to get a drummer and a bass player and do a gig. Mm-hmm. We thought we should do a gig; it would be a good idea. And then the guy who puts the bands on said, you can have a gig, but I also want to put your record out. want to put this out as an EP, and these were just what we thought were demos. And he said, "This is really good. This is good enough for us to put out as an EP." And so we thought, well, we better get a band together quick, and that's how it happened. So that was in September 1990. We did our first gig in October and November, and then
what
released in 91 in January.
And the English press jumped on us, and we had every major and big indie label in England chasing us around the country.
But you decided on Polygram, Mercury.
Yeah, we'd signed on Fontana. Yeah, we came very close to signing to Creation Records, about that close, but we didn't because they were broke at the time.
Before Sony bought them.
Yeah. Alan McGee was calling me up constantly for 2 weeks. You gotta sign to my label, man. You gotta sign to my label. Your band's fucking brilliant. You gotta sign to my label. And it was like Alan's a really, really lovely guy and very persuasive, and we came very close to signing with Creation. But Fontana was. We didn't intend to sign to a major label at all, but Fontana were actually prepared to give us more money and allow us to do exactly what we wanted to do. So. Which is the same. I mean, Creation were obviously going to give us artistic freedom, but they had certain less money to make records with. So that's basically the reason we went with Fontana. That we thought that we could make better records with the provisions that they could give us.
Okay. And so when you guys finally did get on that with a major label, you did the first 2 albums, all the artwork with Alistar. Yeah. Was this somebody that you wanted to work with, or did the record label actually come to you and say, "This guy's got awesome stuff"?
No. The record company have had have no input on anything. Absolutely nothing. Anything that you see or hear is unilaterally decided by us. No, he was someone he was a good friend of Merck's, our managers. Alistair was, and he just used to let us thumb through his back catalogue of photographs, and we just liked what he was doing, and he did the album cover as well for Ferment.
Okay. All right, and where did you get the concept for Cats and Dogs then? The artwork.
It was A and B. It was like supposedly kind of B-sides and outtakes, and it was Storm Thorgerson did that, who'd worked previously on Happy Days and Chrome. And Storm's mind works in kind of on tangents and things, and he was thinking, B-side, A, B, girl, boy, cats, dogs, twins, and it was kind of like revealing 2 sides of something, and he thought, what good way of presenting that would be to have identical twins who are visibly identical, but obviously emotionally they would be radically different. And that was the train of thought which
all right
inspired it.
Okay, so you guys have actually been on some pretty major tours before you were fully taken seriously by the American media, and the first one that I saw you on, like I already said, was with the Charlatans, and you guys are opening. I hadn't heard of you until then, but you guys just blew me away. I've been a fan since.
Funny, they were going to open for us on this tour. Isn't that strange?
Oh, are they gonna?
They were, but they're not. No.
But you guys have opened for the Pumpkins in '92, when they were pretty relatively unknown at the time. Can you guys tell me about how that tour came about? Or
yeah, we can. I was horrified that we all came into the office one day in London, and Merck, our manager, says we're opening for a band called the Smashing Pumpkins in Europe. We all went, who? Why the hell are we opening for a band that we've never heard of? Why don't we? And I've never heard of this band, and they were. I thought, who the fuck are the Smashing Pumpkins? What a stupid bloody name! And we knew nothing about them. We didn't know what they were like, what they sounded like, and it was just our agent thought that the bands would really complement each other, and we thought, well, okay, we'll go along with it. So we turned up in Belgium for the first gig. This was in January '92, I think, and this band went on after us, and I don't know whether anyone saw the Smashing Pumpkins on the first record, Gish, but they were the most fantastic band in the world. They were they just ripped my head off. They were just brilliant, and I was like, wow. It was a bit. It had a big impact on me, that tour. It was just how dynamic a band could be, and just how powerful, but not gratuitously powerful. I mean, we were considered to be an extremely powerful guitar band at the time, and with a different type of sound to the Pumpkins. But they were just incredibly dynamic, and it kind of, it was a very interesting, fun tour.
All right, and what about the 1994 tour with INXS?
Yep.
Was that not a good one for you?
That was it. The INXS are the biggest bunch of drunks that you're likely to meet, and they're happy people. They're good fun to be around. It was I think it was us paying off a debt to the record company. All right, we'll do this, because we were both Mercury artists. It was fun. It was all right.
Luxurious, I'd call it.
Yeah.
Playing on carpet every night.
All right, so you guys spent the first part of this year opening up for live over in the UK. I mean, this is...
We did 5 shows.
Oh, you only did 5 shows? Okay, this is, from my understanding, this is the second time that you guys actually did a tour with them.
No, we did 2 dates on their last Enormo Dome tour of America.
Okay.
Just 2. So we've played with them 6
A couple times. Okay. So do you guys enjoy playing with them, or did they come to you and say, you're going to make money on this tour? Go.
No.
I don't really understand the question. Repeat the question.
Why did you agree to open for them? Did they just say, here's a bunch of money, or did you say, we're going to get our name out even more than it already is? Did you do it because you wanted to?
You know, it was a ready-made audience to play to, which is always quite inviting for any band. I mean, I'm not sure that.
I don't think the reasons were too ethical. I mean.
No, I'm not sure that they were totally morally sound. But yeah, they wanted us to do it, and nice guys, and we did it. I mean, they're quite unusual shows to do. They're playing to like 25,000 people on a field in the middle of Pennsylvania, whatever. It's a very odd thing to do. I'm not sure in the long run they're particularly good ideas to do. I don't necessarily think that you sell more records as a result of them, more. You maybe introduce more people to the group, I guess, which is a good thing.
Okay, and I also read that you guys got in a bunch of trouble, or a little bit of trouble with them, because your sets kept going over. So,
well, yeah, maybe so. It depends how strict you think.
Well, to the point where they...
With their time, it was like down to the last second.
To the point where they finally said, you guys only get 30 minutes now on your set. I mean, that's what I read that. Is that true, or am I?
Well, it's I mean, it depends how you present this information, because if you present this information in a particular way, it sounds like Live are being total bastards, which they weren't. I mean, they had a huge entourage. They had production managers, tour managers, stage managers, and like somewhere in the depths of the building, you might find the band. But I mean, that's they're playing to a lot of people, and that's the way it is. So it's got nothing to do with. We didn't see this having anything to do with the group. It's just had everything to do with the way their people were organising this tour. And it was, we were running over. Black Metallic was taking 25 minutes to wind up or something, and we were just going over some nights. But it wasn't a big deal.
It's difficult because our set, it's very difficult to get it to come in on the same time every night. It's very easy to go over.
Yes, it tends to mutate into various things during the evening, so it's pretty difficult to time it.
Okay, well, I'm pretty much done here, other than I have 2 more questions for you, and these are kind of from me. But I want to know what happened with Shed 7 in Toronto.
Oh, you've got all the dough, haven't you? Where do you get all this from?
Or do you not want to talk about it?
Well, our manager just made the band cry, I think, by shouting at them. We have a particularly fierce manager when he wants.
Because I want to know what was said, because what I heard didn't give any details. It just said, the tour manager was pissed off at Shed 7.
Well, they said something dumb. We were doing them a very big favour. They were opening for us in Toronto, and they wanted to open for us. And we'd sold the show out, and we didn't have a support. But it was a one-off we were doing in Toronto, so we weren't on a tour or anything. And I was doing an interview upstairs after our sound check, and I was told by the interviewer that one of the guys in the Shed 7 had made some derogatory remark about the band. In reference to us being some kind of pub rock band, which we all thought was incredibly amusing, actually. But and then so I walked downstairs after this, being quite amused by this, and then walked into Shed 7 soundcheck, and what were they soundchecking but Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. Oh, nice. And the irony was thick in the air that. You know, we were meant to be the pub rock band. Here's a band doing a fucking Rolling Stones cover. Anyway, so this leaked out and
blown out of proportion.
It got blown out of proportion, and
basically our manager bit the head off of the singer of Shed 7, and almost, you know, I think getting a little flooded in his eyes.
And I think he actually picked on the wrong person.
And
but
it turns out it was the guitarist that said it, and you know.
So he actually cried.
No.
Okay.
I think the expression "chewed him another asshole" comes to.
Okay.
I wouldn't say.
If that's an expression. It was alright. It was no, you know, we haven't come across them since, so I'm sure they'll spit on us next time they see them.
Okay, then my last question is, why? I don't know if this is true or not. I read this too. Why do you guys hate Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise? No, you don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, it was just some interview that you guys did in '95 that I read. No?
Well, I can't remember saying it. Is that what we said?
That's kind of what I read. Yeah. Well, that's okay.
No, maybe it's probably our drummer and bass player said it.
Okay, the two guys aren't here. Okay. Well, that's it. Except for I want to say, make sure that you check out this band, Catherine Wheel, when they come back to the Bay Area on so in the first weekend of October at the Cactus Club and at the Warfield. So check them out.
Bye.